Good evening, everyone. My name is Barbara Balášová, and I'm from Startup Disrupt. And I welcome you all to today's online event that we in Startup Disrupt organize. It's Female Leader Series, and this time's topic is from marketer to founder, because many of women dream that one day they'll run their own business. Startup Disrupt is a platform that educates, inspires, and connects entrepreneurs, startups, mentors, and technology innovators, as well as investors and corporations, not only in Czech Republic, but also within startup communities around the whole world. To begin with, today, just in a nutshell, I want to introduce you today's program, what it will look like. We'll start with a fireside chat with Violeta Luca. And after that, we will have a panel discussion hosted by our wonderful Pavlína Louženská, founder of Holkys Marketingu. And then we'll jump in on pitch night, when 3 startup founders will present their projects to us in 3 minutes, and our panelists will give them some feedback. Now I'm going to pass the words to Pavlína, and don't forget you can send questions to the sli.do with a code SDP as Startup Disrupt Prague, and in the end Pavlína will take those questions and discuss them with our panelists in turn. So thank you very much for joining today. Enjoy today's stream, and Pavlína, it's yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bar. That was a wonderful introduction. Again, I'm a founder of Holkys Marketingu. We are one of the biggest female empowerment platform in Central Eastern Europe, currently united more than 26,000 women. I'm also a lead mentor for Google for Startups for Europe and Africa, and I'm also a Google certified trainer for design thinking and female empowerment. But definitely, most of all, and my favorite role is to be the host of Female Leaders Startup Disrupt. And today I have an opportunity, an amazing opportunity to talk to Violeta Luca, the General Manager of Microsoft Czech and Slovak. And definitely we will be covering all those topics about leadership. And then I will invite on stage wonderful women from all over the world, Greece, Ukraine, and Czech Republic. And we will be discussing how to actually build a business, with an experience coming from marketing side, working for somebody else. So definitely feel free to join us. Feel free to send questions. I would be super happy to answer them all, and my guests will do so as well. And also please stay in the end, because there are 3 wonderful female founders coming on stage and pitching to you tonight, and I think it would be really great to hear them. So Violeta, welcome.
Hello everyone, happy to be here.
Thank you very much. So since this is a Startup Disrupt, we're talking about startups, my first question would be, have you ever wanted to start your own company?
So a very good question, and probably I will be giving a not expected answer. Yes, I did, and yes, we started a company with my husband a couple of years back. So I am a corporate person by many means, but I'm also very keen to innovate and to bring value. And some years back, actually, with my husband, we said, shall we start to build a company together? So we did, and it's still in the early years. As you know, it's not so easy to start a new thing, and we took also a decision back then. So it is, I'm talking about more than 3 years back, and my husband actually renounced to his corporate job in a very big telco player, and remain to take care of our company, and I decided to remain with the corporate world. So we made the decision as a family. But actually it was a very rewarding experience. And also when I'm looking at my husband, the way he learned so many things in different functions, because he's coming from IT background, he was a cloud solution architect, and then he was leading more team members. But actually, when you are building a startup, you are, wearing many hats. You are definitely the product owner, the product thinker. You are the HR. You are the accountant. Sometimes you are the business developer. So definitely, it was a very rewarding experience to see it a bit from the outside at some point, but for sure also closer to him. And I want only to add the fact that the ability to build something, learning from others, creating partnerships, creating alliances, I think it's really a tremendous opportunities for us in Central Eastern Europe, in Czech and Slovakia in particular, but also for us women, because we have such an immense creative power.
I could listen to you for hours. Thanks a lot for that. You mentioned wearing many hats, and I think this is exactly what you have to do in your role, since you're leading Microsoft Czech Republic and Slovakia, so you're managing a lot of departments. So what's your mindset strategy towards leadership, regarding leadership?
Thank you, Pavlína. So a great question again. So indeed, running today a big team and also even a smaller team requires to wear a couple of hats and to have a very deep understanding of human nature, ability to listen. So definitely my mindset when I'm talking about leadership, and I can say that I started this manager first journey, and then I learned how to be a leader 20 years back, because when I started to work, it was that dream that I want to be a manager. So it seemed like the mecca, or the kind of the thing you would like for you. So when I started this, I realized that it's very important to be, first of all, a close human being for all the team members. So you need to have the ability to listen into their needs, to include them, to offer them opportunities to grow, to reward them, to recognize their strengths, and also to help them to overcome their, potential shortages, or potential to help them address areas of growth. So looking at today, I think I'm very lucky to work for Microsoft, because we have a great culture in which we can learn from each other, we can support people, we can scale our leadership capacity, and we can always incorporating the feedback we are listening from other team members in such a way to grow continuously. Because I'm a big believer that, it's very important to become the best version of ourselves. And in order to do so, it's very important to learn every day.
I have goosebumps. And I must confess, the other day I was hosting a panel, and actually one of the employees of Microsoft joined the panel, and he was talking so nicely about you and about your humble leadership and how he really feels seen. And it was quite a unique experience to me, considering it's a corporate job. And that definitely takes me to the next question, because you're talking about this human-centered approach to leadership, but also you have switched Microsoft to user-centered approach to business. And you have transformed a lot. So how do you see that change, and how do you benefit from that change, paying attention really to those human needs of those around you, of those customers?
A great question again, I must say. So I would be starting my answer by saying that I personally do not believe businesses that can strive without having a customer-centric approach in a way or another. Because, we are living in a world in which the customers are expecting a lot from us, the business providers, whether it is about products and services. And definitely looking at Microsoft, for sure, we went through our own journey, And it was a journey. It started with the vision of our CEO, Satya Nadella. He started like a mantra with his customer obsession vision, to infuse it into our operating model in all the departments, in all the countries, really cross organization. So this vision is not enough only to have a vision. It's very important to be able to operationalize it. And in order to describe what we went through, I can refer to our, let's say, GM for customer and partner experience, Amanda, who actually has an interview on the internet, if you can look into it, explaining how we took this journey and what were the important moments. Initially, it's very important to listen into voice of the customer and partner. It's not only about listening into interviews, but looking at numbers in the same time and correlating the quantitative and qualitative, let's say, insights. And then based on that, you should build a strategy on how to build a better customer and partner experiences. And actually, this is not ending it at any moment in time, because it's actually a journey. You are continuously improving. You are becoming a more experienced and customer-centric company. And this itself is a journey which never ends. What is really important is to understand this and to have perseverance and patience in the same time. But going into more practical stuff, I would, let's say, mention 3 things. It's very much important to keep people accountable for their work and for the projects they are influencing, and to coach them to actually ask themselves whenever they are doing something, how that particular task or outcome is influencing customer experience. And maybe in the beginning, this conversation might be a little bit forced, a forcing function, but actually if you are doing it consistently, then it grows with the company and with the teams. And very much important as well is to have a storyboard for the employee life cycle to better understand, internal processes and customer journey.
I love it. I love it. Definitely, so often I see that you either have to choose entrepreneurship and kind of internal ownership, or you go work for a corporation. But from what I'm hearing from you, it's there doesn't need to be a choice. So I would like to know, how do you encourage internal entrepreneurship? How do you encourage people to stay hungry and foolish?
So I think in a lifetime, because we will be working probably 30-40 years in a lifetime, and in a lifetime you can have both corporate exposure with intrapreneurship, and also you can have entrepreneurial exposure. And maybe sometimes you are selling your company to a big corporation and you become again a corporate person. So life is very, very diverse. Answering to your question, 3 things come into my mind. One is culture, the second one is structure, and the third one is leadership style. And culture is being built day by day, step by step. And if I'm thinking to Microsoft, I think our culture is very much relying on the growth mindset. The belief that success depends on time and effort, and that people can learn how to develop skills, how they can enhance their intelligence, how they can improve themselves in order to become better and to contribute to the teamwork. So it's about continuous learning, it's about growth mindset, it's about diversity and inclusion, because you cannot really foster innovation in a company and entrepreneurship if you are not bringing the table, let's say, many backgrounds, many points of view, and you make space to listen into them and to incorporate their feedback and their perspective. When I'm talking about leadership style, I'm definitely thinking about humble and servant leadership, and it's not about really having low self-awareness or low self-esteem, because sometimes people, when they hear about humble leadership or servant leadership, they kind of associate this with something which is weak. But actually, what I experienced and also what I learned from many leaders I met is that having a humble leadership means that you are increasing the ownership by the way you are cultivating the responsibility in the organization, and you are creating that fellowship with accountability as well, while in the same time you are fostering a culture in which you can speak up towards new ideas, new points of view, new projects. So I think really by cultivating this, you are showing respect and you are helping the organization to grow.
That's great. I love that you're talking about the importance of diversity, because that's definitely one of my favorite topics. Is there any kind of tip how to cultivate diversity, how to incorporate diversity into organization? Because so often when we are talking about diversity, it's not diversity of genders, but it's not diversity of nationalities, it's a diversity of thoughts, backgrounds, approaches, and so on. So you're such a huge company. So how do you balance it all? How do you encourage people to become diverse? How not to actually standardize them?
Let me use the second point I touched base in the previous question about the structure. So first of all, I think there is that we should have the decision power that we want to have a diverse culture, because in order to be intentional and to drive it across the organization, you need firstly to have this decision, the vision, and then the decision to make it happen. But diversity for the diversity's sake doesn't really add value. And then you learn that diversity needs to come hand in hand with inclusion, which means that we need to create the space for incorporating people's perspective, for driving projects. And this leads me to structure. So in our company, what we did, definitely we had quite a comprehensive process of driving awareness across organization. What does it mean, diversity and inclusion? What does it mean for the company, but what does it mean for me as an individual? And after driving these awareness sessions, workshops with different team members, after really, creating intentional activities in the subsidiary, in the company, we actually moved from this maybe formal type of, let's say, instilling diversity with inclusion to a more natural motion in the company to incorporate it. So you don't need to trigger the conversation with the manager when hiring someone. Did you think of, recruiting a woman maybe, or did you think of taking a person from different nationality, bringing him or her in order to help us with this particular perspective? So when you are cultivating this, day by day, and with micro behaviors or even with more outstanding behaviors, then you are nurturing a culture in which diversity becomes a, way of being and working together.
I love such a mindful approach to it. The fact that you actually pay attention, that you don't expect it to happen, that you actually create structures, that you create best practices, that you create those things. One of my favorite podcasts actually is How I Built This. And they always ask those leaders and entrepreneurs, where do you take time for strategic thinking? And I see you have a lot of strategic thinking behind your answers. You have those structures and so on. Where do you take time? What part of your day? How do you assign it? Where do you find time?
Yeah, so it's not so easy to find the time, for deep thinking and also for learning, I must admit. And I think in the past year, it was a bit more difficult with different challenges we had to cope as women, but also as family members, at combining different responsibilities we have. But what I learned is that if I don't make time for myself, to take care of me, to learn something new, to think deeply of something which is working or is not working well, because sometimes you may have also challenges on the table, then no one would really make the time for you. So it's really important to really consciously make this choice. And usually what I do, I use, my Microsoft Office by blocking some focus time, which I'm calling that. And I agreed with my executive assistant that I will be having those purple slots in my calendar in which it is my focus time, in which I'm deep thinking. And also I put some time for learning, and I shared my plans with my executive assistants also to kind of agree together that we will keep ourselves honest to this engagement and also to these commitments that sometimes I may kind of deviate a little bit, but at least to be sure that I'm having this mirroring conversation with me, and of course with her helping me to make sure that I don't kind of abdicate from those commitments to my growth and development. And I know it's not that easy. And I had also last year some family challenges when I needed to take care of someone. And in those days, I remember it was really hard. But what I did, especially during weekends, I was saying, okay, sometimes now I can't travel so much, but I can travel with my mind by learning new things or by thinking something, to make the most of this time.
I love it. I also started doing that, and it's such a great game changer, and I would definitely recommend it. Since we are closing our time, it's a last question, and I will ask you for a short answer. But is there any advice you would give to your younger self, looking back at yourself when you were 20, 25?
Keeping it short, to have more patience. I used not to have patience and to be very aspirational and ambitious. And sometimes I did not give myself, firstly, enough time, you know. And I think it's very difficult to have this patience, especially when you are young. But it's important to balance expectations with efforts, with resources, and of course, we not diminishing your aspiration, but you know, being more patient, it helps.
I love it. I take it definitely as a takeaway from our conversation, and one of the biggest ones is how you need to assign time for yourself to become a leader for the others. And I think that was really inspiring. Thank you for talking to me.
Thank you very much, Pavlína. It was a pleasure, and congratulations for all the work you are doing.
Thank you. Thank you. And that was the end of the interview, and I will ask now our panelists to join me on stage. I will be presenting really great ladies from all over the world: Olga, Andrea, Barbara, Andrea, and Zuzana. We will have two Andreas, so I will definitely fuck up. But anyway, hello, girls, and it's great to have you on stage. We will be definitely focusing on how did you build your business, how did you transform yourself, what were your lessons, and what are the tips and tricks for our viewers, and how could they start. And for a question, definitely for all of you, what inspired you to start your own business? And I will start with Olga.
Hi. Actually, my story is not a usual story that I dreamed a lot of doing a business. I used to think I was a corporate worker, a corporate player, and I was really good at this job. But actually, as you said, my entrepreneurship started with a great fuck up. So the company I used to work was closed, and the ambitious we are planning to implement on the market, we were planning to bring brand new way of commercial property development, but due to some political and economical issues, the company was closed. And actually I was in despair. I didn't know what to do, and I started looking for another job, and it took me like months, and I came to understand that I cannot find anything that drove me enough. So, and that made me to think what kind of job will be so ambitious, so inspiring that I used to have. And actually that was my husband who said, maybe you will think about your own business. And actually my father is entrepreneur with like 30 years. He said, no, never do this. No, never think about this. It's hard. It's so uneasy, and maybe you should proceed with your corporate career. But actually that was my move to start looking at myself as an expert in marketing in another direction. So that I started marketing agency, and it is 5 years already I run my business.
And I must say it's a really successful business. We actually met with Olga in the US, where she was selected as one of the best entrepreneurs in Ukraine. So I must say, you know, she's too humble to say it, but I will say it. She's the best. Andrea, what was your story behind Twigsee Digital? How did it started?
Well, following Olga, actually, I also have a similar experience that after my career at Google and then as a festival director, YouTubering festival for Generation Z, I actually didn't know what to do afterwards, because of course Google is a dream company, and when you imagine that you should look for other jobs somewhere in corporation world, I didn't know. I wasn't really sure what to do, and then I asked my mentor, okay, so what do you think I should do? And he said, okay, so found your own company. And I said, well, so why not? Maybe it could be something I can try. And because I'm an achiever and I like the challenges, so I said, okay, so let's start. And actually, I founded my agency. To be honest, I didn't know if I'm gonna run how big the agency should be. So firstly, I started as a consultant for YouTube, because that time I was one on the Czech market who understand YouTube, and thanks to the chances and also the luck, I would say, I had a great opportunity to work with nice clients as Czech Olympic Committee, and the work was so visible that, of course, it gave me some references afterwards, and then I started my agency because I couldn't handle all the things by myself.
You are not the only one on the panel with an influencer marketing agency. We do have a Polish person on the panel who's also started an influencer marketing agency. Zuzko, was this your story as well, similar to Andrea, or completely different?
It was very similar to Olga's story, actually, because I used to work for a software company. It was a German software company. We had a branch in Warsaw, and we started it. It was online commerce software. And due to investor decisions, they decided to shut down the Polish office, and I was the head of the sales team back there. It was like my first job, from intern through sales rep through to sales team manager. And it was very sudden. I didn't expect that, because it was after our best sales month. So like everything that could go wrong went wrong. I didn't even have a clue. And it's all a coincidence that my friends started this app for Instagram, and it was for e-commerce, for online shops. And they asked me, okay, so you have sales experience, maybe you could join us. And very similar to Olga's story, but my mom told me, what will happen if you go bankrupt? And I'm like, no, it's just, we have few lines of code and 2 computers, so it's not going to be that bad. But in the meantime, I was also applying for the jobs that would be more stable, because this is what we were told, right? You like finish the university and you find a stable job. So I decided just to give it a try. We had some money for 3 months. And it just, went off. And it was very funny story as well, because I was at the pitching competition, and the co-founder of the company that I was applying to during that time, he was in the jury, and he said, I don't know why you applied for us, because you're a born entrepreneur. And after, 4 months of struggle, because, the first month can be really hard, and constant fighting, it gave me this spark of hope that maybe there's a way to go. And the idea evolved. We pivoted a bit, because now Instagram enables, of course, shopping. So our app was useless within some time. And we evolved into an influencer marketing agency. And it's 5 years as well, Olga. So high five.
And I must say again, since you're too humble to say it, for example, Susanna was listed among Forbes 30 under 30 in Poland, being a really successful entrepreneur. So, girls, I'm here to empower you definitely with your successes. If you don't say it, so rather say it. Baro, you had really huge corporate jobs, and then you moved on to start your own company. So what inspired you?
Yes, that's right. My background is in corporate communications and PR. I was a spokesperson for almost 5 years for one of the biggest companies in Central Europe. But while working in the energy sector, I have always been very passionate about art. So I was visiting art shows, talking to galleries, and trying to get as much information as possible. But still, this art scene in the Czech Republic and also in the whole Central and Eastern Europe is slightly underdeveloped comparing to the international standards. So I decided to relocate to London to get some more experience. And I started at Christie's. I actually took first their art business course, and a couple of months later, I became global press and communications officer for Christie's Education. So I promoted these courses across 3 campuses, London, New York, and Hong Kong.
So in this role, I gained a lot of experience and a lot of contacts, and I have always wanted to help to improve something. So I decided to relocate back to the Czech Republic and try to work more with local collectors and try to help them with their journey through the art world. But not only, I don't want to work only with the collectors here in the Czech Republic, but also in the whole Central and Eastern European region.
I think we all, one day when we exit our companies, we will go and buy your art from your artist, definitely. Andrea, you're the last one. What was your story? And I know it's very interesting.
First of all, I love it that we have so many things in the mix right now that I'm going to add some music and some politics into that. So in this way, we have all the diversity you required, like Violeta, to have from the first speech. So my background starts, I was a music major in Athens University. And while I moved here in Athens from Cyprus, I was working in politics because that was my weird passion for some way. And like in student politics, that led me to European politics. And I was looking for a way to combine it. So after finishing a 5-year study, I had a year off, worked more, traveled a lot around Europe. And I ended up into the business world from a professor of music business in US, but also because people thought I was too audacious to believe that as a musician, I could make it into politics, and then I could make it having an MBA in strategy. So like when people say like you're too audacious to do things, and I think all the panel here, they're so great and overachievers, they know that once somebody says that, it's like you have to do it just to prove them wrong. It's fine. I'm okay with that. So I had the 2 years working like in campaigning and all of that while I was doing my MBA. And 10 years ago, I had the first step of either, thinking about working in major communication companies and advertising agencies or starting on my own. And I think like deep down, I was always kind of driven from the fact that maybe I was a suppressed engineer or something. I come from a medical family that they are very keen in helping and fixing stuff. So like my idea was like, okay, maybe if I don't work for someone big that is unaffordable, maybe if I start something on my own, I can give services for other young people that it's more affordable. So that's how Cubic started, that eventually in 2018 was sold to Giraffes in the Kitchen, which is a major Athens agency, and they gave us a brand. So we kind of grew under a network. So this is the major like communication marketing aspect of my path. I was always too passionate about startups, and starting my startup in 2011, it was the starting of the hype, let's say, like in Europe with all the startup communities and all of that. So I was very lucky to experience all that wave from the beginning. So on the side of Giraffes, like I'm involved with other things, like Politica was the reason that me and Pavlína met. So I was very fortunate during a lot of fuck-ups, but very fortunate to be here with you guys today.
Thanks a lot for this. I hear a lot of transformation, from music major to partner at an agency and so on. And everybody of you mentioned like huge life jumps. And I'm very keen to know what helped you on the way, or who helped you on the way. Andrea has already mentioned having a mentor. Olga has mentioned having a husband. Different ways, but I'm really looking for the tools for any programs or scholarships or any kind of like thing that really helped you to transform. Because as Zuzana said in her answer, I believe it was a grueling story and it felt like crying for a few months. And Zuzana, I will start with you because also you are a mentor for startups. So what helped you and what do you advise to startups you mentor?
Yeah. It's really funny like that you mentioned these transformations, because I majored in English philology. I'm a translator from education. Yes, Rusi. This is why we're soulmates, Pavlína. And I was just always interested in technology. And I went during my studies, I went to study to Berlin, and I had this one, it was an Erasmus exchange, and I had this one subject that was innovation management. And there was this woman, she worked in Samsung, and we had all these different like workshops. It was very fascinating. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. So then I came to do my master's in Warsaw, which was finance, but I was always interested in this innovation sphere. And this is when the like e-commerce started growing in Poland. Like 8 years ago, it was nothing here, you know. It's really, it is when it started, and it was just always my interest, I think, and a bit of coincidence. And funny you say your favorite podcast is how I built this, because this is my favorite podcast too. And this is what I always like grasp from it, is that you just, you know, you have to keep your eyes open and be open for opportunities, because they might come in different ways. And there was a lot of coincidence, but I think that I was just open to it. And in the development of our company, what helped us were like major shocks. So we won some competition, like startup competitions, and we went with my co-founder to Israel and for a week. And they have very different management style than Polish people. They say like, just do it now. It's like, just take this decision. And we were like, we didn't know what we were doing. So sometimes you just need this push. And so I think like mentors can help you. But we were sometimes very non-receptive to feedback. And we like, sometimes I feel that especially young founders, especially IT people, they just feel that it's an attack on them, which is not. It is just very different people have very different opinions. At the same time, I just want to tell you all that not all feedback is true, and because it may be also very misleading. Like you listen to 100 people, they will have 100 different opinions, and this is what, when we are mentoring startups, we always underline that at the very end, it is your vision, and you have to be open to feedback. You have to take it all in, but at the end of the day, you have to have the clear vision, and you know all about this like industry that you want to develop in. So I think like being open to and like having your eyes around is really helpful. So this is my strategy here.
Andrea, I see you nodding a lot, and since your transformation from music, politics, and business is maybe the most kind of shocking one, let's say, what were the tools or programs or anything that helped you on the way?
From 2011, actually, a lot of the things is a bit of a hunch, like Susanna said, a bit of being open to a lot of criticism in many different levels. But I was lucky because like starting off, I had two really great mentors, people that I still do have as mentors, that they were like 10, 15 years older than me, that they were, some of them may also believe that I was breeding to be their competition still. They gave me their insights, they gave me their backups and all of that. But eventually growing up into this world, a lot of programs that sometimes like what they teach you are overlapping, and sometimes you need to just get a different perspective, was very helpful. Like YTD was one of the fellowships that I had the honor to be selected to be part of, that gave me a lot of insight from the other side of the world. And we in the communication and marketing and influencing world, we do get influenced a lot by what's happening in US, but having the opportunity of being in there, like directly in the source, was a very big school. But to start with, I must say that the how hard politics are, because when we're talking about marketing and storytelling, it's a different thing about doing it for a brand, and then imagine if the brand is a political party and an ideology. So it was a great school to start with, So anything that I accumulated from the early years kind of came into place on how to behave and react, on how to actually interact with people a lot, and eventually customers. So that was my, let's say, path into understanding how other people can help me and be open to it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Andrea, I will get to you. Since you mentioned two things that are actually similar to what other Andrea has said, and that was the mentor who helped you on the way, and also the fact that you mentioned that you used to work for Google as a YouTube expert, and then you were able to transition. So my question is, if you kind of go freelance from a job that you had in a corporation, you kind of want to stay in the same industry, what helped you on the way there? What kind of helped you to stand on your 2 feet, even though you stayed in the same field in a way?
Mm-hmm. Well, to be honest, I think that I had a luck to meet the people I met who actually helped me to move my business forward. When I started my business, partially I also still work for Google as a consultant. So thanks to that, I also have also some kind of knowledges that then I scale to my business. And as well, I have many good friends thanks to my university who also have kind of knowledges. And to be honest, one of my good friends, she was that time on maternity leave. And because of that, she helped me to run my own business as well. That she helped me with the logo. She helped me to be my project manager because she didn't want to be only at home. And suddenly I knew that I can focus on my vision, let's say, and the fact what I want to do. And of course, because I had the history with Google, I knew many people and contacts in the field I wanted to focus on. And thanks to that, I could have the opportunity actually to work by my own, because actually Google couldn't do everything, of course. So then they needed someone who can execute it. For example, the clients. So it was also the fact that they chose afterwards, for example, me, or thanks to that, I could be part of the tenders for the companies.
I love it how, for example, in the Czech Republic, whoever I used to ask about YouTube, they would refer your name as if there was nobody else on the market. It was like just coming back to you all the time. And I think that's really like what struck me in a way.
Well, I'm also sometimes surprised, but the fact is that thanks to this experience, I also was I'm also a Google certified trainer for YouTube and for YouTube artists. And actually, we are talking here about music, so of course, like I work with musicians and with artists in the Czech Republic. So also I'm working with musicians in CE and teach them how to use YouTube.
I will definitely organize drinks for this group. You guys who are watching, you are not invited, but we will be having drinks. But thanks a lot for this. Vara, girls were talking a lot about keeping your vision. And since you're in an early stage of your startup, you're in an early stage of your company. But I think like from what every time we talk about it, you have such a strong vision around it. And I think it's quite unusual with such founders of young companies. And I would like to know, how do you keep your vision and how do you work with that feedback you might be getting from mentors or people you meet along the way who want to give you advice?
That's a really good question. Thank you so much. Hard to answer. I think for me, it's absolutely crucial to be part of, let's say, broader professional community, such as Aspen Institute, Central Europe, we are both part of, or like BCC, it's called Equilibrium Mentoring Program, organized by a British Chamber of Commerce. It helped me a lot because they connected me with a great mentor. I have discussed the launch of the project and the next steps with. What I find very useful is not to think just in inside your field and the art section in my experience, but to try to penetrate to other fields such as AI, that's a great source of inspiration, and that's how you move your project forward, I would say.
I actually got a question from the audience for you especially, so I will stay with you. How different are the leadership skills critical to succeeding working in a corporation versus having your own startup? What did you kind of take away, what you can still apply having learned in the corporation, and what you can use in your business, and what's different?
Thank you for this question. For me, becoming detached from my personal point of view is crucial. So I learned a lot of professional skills because I had the pleasure, and I was lucky enough to have really good mentors and leaders and bosses. But being my own boss and being the only person having to do all the necessary decisions every day, very good thing for me was to realize that I'm just a manager in my own company, and become detached from all emotions that might be connected with the fact that you own the company. Does it make sense?
Definitely. I want to ask you all about your mental health and a strategy with that, So I'm most curious, but since the topic today, and I will be coming back to that definitely, but coming back, since our topic today is from marketer to founder, Olga, pointing at you because you used to be a marketer, you started a marketing agency. So I want to know what kind of skills you felt like really helped you start in that, being a marketer, and also how do you hire marketers now? Do you have different approach to marketers? Do you, for example, set up KPIs differently when you were a client versus when you are the entrepreneur who's hiring those?
Well, actually, my key service for startups and small and medium enterprises is to launch marketing function inside the company. And we say that our mission as an agency is to make the company independent on marketing agencies. So that when we elaborate on a strategy and then we find a marketer from the market to be implemented and integrated in the company. And of course, we need to look at not only on the professional skills, but if there is a perfect match in terms of leadership, in terms of ambitions, in terms of cultural background, in terms of values. And now we understand that it is 50-50 of success whether the marketing will work properly. First part is professional skills, and the second part is human skills, soft skills. So, and when we are looking for a marketer, I look at these two sides of the person, professional and human. So there should be a perfect match in terms of values, in terms of ambitions, and in terms of professional skills. And I just wanted to add that what helped me as a marketer, because marketers, I think we all agree, we are good networkers. And our business network, our friends network, it's just like our core active that we use to develop ourselves and develop our business. And this helped me a lot. And I had plenty of role models in front of my eyes of other female entrepreneurs I was inspired with. So, and actually this ability to build up partnerships, to build up networking, to be useful for other people helped also me to grow my business.
I'm so happy you're saying that, because when I was thinking what you all have in common, it's an extensive network. You're all like natural born networkers. I know you because we were both hyperactive and the like circles that we are around. And I remember Andrea, when we were together in the US, she was like so hyperactive. Like I'm the, full in the room and like so loud and everything, but she knew everybody. We were in US like for 2 days and she already knew everybody. Like, I don't know, really. Andrea, so I have to ask you, what's kind of your strategy towards networking? Do you have any kind of like tools and tactics, and did you have to learn that? And kind of like, how do you build that network? And especially you have a network from so many different fields, like, all those politicians and musicians and like entrepreneurs and like so many fields around. And, it feels like when I'm watching you, it feels so natural when you are doing networking that I would definitely want to learn from you. So what's your key tactics?
I don't know. I think it's like I'm always curious. Like I start from there. It's not about like standing in a room and just talking loudly to someone, but actually if a room has 100 people you never met before, you want to know their stories. I mean, at the end of the day, from what we do, we're natural storytellers, right? So you want to learn people's stories. And after learning all these stories, and then especially when we walk around in circles of people that they're driven, they're founders, they want to do things, most of the time it feels like they need to be connected to somebody else. So it kind of starts from there. So when, let's say, Pavlína needs, like a need for the Greek market, or I need it for the Polish market, and then somebody will get me into that. And then eventually somebody else from a different type of circle, it's going to match with that person. It doesn't have to be necessarily from the same circle of people. So the musicians, like all my friends or classmates since then, some of them are in bands, some of them are in need of somebody like Andrea from We Digital to actually help them out. So now I know, like I've met someone that actually can help them out, because I know other people that do, let's say, Spotify as well. Or like eventually moving into politics. A lot of these people are now very entrenched into their country's political scenes, or in some organizations or NGOs that can help out. So somebody can connect them with somebody else, especially now that politics and entrepreneurship are kind of walking hand by hand, one trying to help each other. And it goes like that. And once you connect people from all these circles and they keep going, creating their own things, you kind of kept being part of it just because you brought them together. Like I think after so many years, I can't remember from where exactly I know someone, but they know someone because at some point we are, everybody got in the same room, when hopefully we will get back into that traveling mode and into those rooms. And I'm hoping that this can continue even from this panel and those drinks you promised before.
Yes, I promise. Baro, definitely I want to ask you, because you're building networks in different countries. You managed to build a network in London, you managed to build a network in the Czech Republic, and you also wanted to add something.
I originally raised my pen because I wanted to ask a question. Do you need to be an extrovert for all this networking and for leading a company? Because I'm an introvert and I'm constantly struggling with approaching people. I know I'm good in one-to-one sessions, but when like talking to a bigger group of people, so I would like to know your opinion, because obviously you look like extroverts, all of you.
It's practice, Barbara. I think it's practice, to be fair.
Okay.
I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it.
If I may continue on that, just to give you like a hint, like imagine like I'm a kid that went to study music because I was such an introvert that I wanted to just play with my piano. And even if I didn't know how to express something, I would play something on the piano. And like eventually, so many years later, people like get surprised, like, oh my God, you know how to play the piano? I'm like, sometimes it's the only thing that made me feel comfortable. Like me and my piano not even playing in front of people. So that's the thing. That's why I'm saying practice, because at some point I said, what do I have to lose? So nothing at the end of the day. You have nothing to lose.
It was well said. Thank you. I played the piano for 8 years, and it was not very pleasant experience for me. But I practiced.
Yeah.
I think like we all have the same story, and I know all of you, and you are definitely not born natural extroverts. You are definitely like Susanna.
Yeah, I was born a natural extrovert. I would always like recite poems, but I just wanted to add on what Andrea said, that it's super important while building your business, like to talk to everyone, because like people are changing jobs, people are fluctuating from one place to another. You never know who might help you or give you like a different perspective on what you're doing. So especially like I still continue this to this day, not only at the beginning of our company, but also now. Like I always talk to people, and I've always been nice to any client, like no matter if they paid us shitloads of money or little money, you always respect every client you have, because you never know where they're going to end up. And it still pays off, like really talking to people and with like this empathy. People just remember that somehow, and it's really helpful along the way, because the more you work, the more people you're going to encounter. So that's really important.
Olga?
Yes, I actually have a tip, tricks and tips for introverts. We now live in a digital world, and we are limited with face-to-face interaction that might be stressful for introverts. But what I consider and what I watch that my business really depends on my media activity. And it is a really great tool to be on the top of interaction without being interaction face to face, which I mean you are an expert and you have lots of different interesting and valuable things to say. And as communication experts, you know for sure that it is for us it is a rather easy way to enter different media with different media items, to be contributive columnists, etc. And also we use our personal social media profiles to demonstrate our value to others, and that is also works really great and somehow compensates face-to-face activities.
Thank you.
I love it how we kind of like jumped over each other, and it definitely revealed what it means to be a marketer when you're being a founder. It's like about this curiosity and looking into like maybe not customer stories, but everybody else's stories, and just finding out what's that. We are coming to an end. We have next 10 minutes, so I will always ask a question, and feel free to raise a hand and answer it if you feel like you have a good answer to it. Otherwise, if you don't, I will ask somebody. But because she's the extrovert, so she asked for it. Definitely. Who do you look up to, either professionally or personally, and why? Who's your kind of role model?
Well, I don't have just one. I think it's everyone, you can learn something from everyone.
I agree.
Andrea,
I think I agree as well. Like I want to look up to all the fellow founders, all the people that start right now, because everybody has always a great story. And personally, that's why I pick for people in my team, people that have diverse backgrounds that they can bring their story in, because they are the aspiring ones. Like I hate the idols that usually are projected into our field, let's say.
I would like to add that I really love Shonda Rhimes, and I took her master classes online, and she is, Andrea, you told you don't like idols, but somehow this person is just amazing for me. And
I will pay for Shonda. I will pay for her. I will pay. Okay, I'll give it to you.
She is the scriptwriter, the creative producer, the showrunner, Autonomy Grace Autonomy. I am sure most of us know this series, but still, the way she expresses her natural curiosity, what you, Andrea, were talking about, she can make a story with anything, and not because she is just so professional. Of course she is, but she is so naturally curious of everything and anything, and this ends up with brilliant stories, movies, series, etc. So I suggest all marketers should follow or somehow know who this person is and what she does.
I think I will call our drinks Shonda Rhimes Fun Club, because that's definitely the fitting one. Where do you get inspiration for setting up processes and organizational structure in your company? From your potential mentor or books? So it's about how did you kind of learn how to set up a structure for your company? Susanna and Barbara.
So yet again, how I built this beautiful podcast. And also this, like last year, I met this HR professional / people's person during one of the like Google meetups, and she's helping us set up a structure which is, you know, outside perspective is very, very good in these kind of fields, because you just lose focus sometimes, and you're so entrenched in your own like processes, especially after a few years. It's really hard to gain outside perspective, and when you have someone to talk to, I also talk to fellow entrepreneurs, and it's super cool to have your like support system. And we discussed this with my co-founder a lot, and it is really good sometimes to reach out, as we mentioned, mentors and the podcasts as well. I think it's constant process, and it's never like this that you're gonna set it up once and it's done. No. It's constant work. It's like every fucking day. So just you have to do this.
Baro?
I mentioned the role at Christie's, which was completely new. So I had to set up all the processes across the 3 regions, and it was quite complicated because each team was working on a different basis, within different time zones and so on. So what was very useful for me to take some time each week to basically re-evaluate all the processes I have set up so far. So you can do it on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, but just take your time to just sit down and ask yourself, am I doing this in the most efficient way? Can I delegate these tasks to someone else? And that's what I'm doing also in my new business.
Okay, perfect. This is the last round. I will ask you for one short answer, each of you. What is one advice you would give to an aspiring entrepreneur who's watching us? Either it can be something that was mentioned during the debate, or it can be something that wasn't mentioned, but really was something that was great for you, that helped you. Susanna, I will always start with you, since you kind of unmasked yourself.
So don't give up. Listen to all the people that are around you, and have your vision. That would be my advice.
Thank you. Olga?
Actually, we had a merchandise for the innovative community unit city, and we have like a sweatshirt that says "Start up, fuck up, get up, repeat." So that's it.
I love it. Baro?
I really liked what Violeta mentioned at the beginning about the humble leadership, which is not weak. So I would say, be yourself, be comfortable with yourself and be happy and it's a good recipe, and then you can make good relationships with your partners, employees, and so on.
Super. Andrea from Greece, and then I will finish with Andrea from the Czech Republic. It's really difficult, guys. Next time I'm not inviting those speakers.
I think I would go with, my pick would be greed, like with an I and a T, not greedy, but greed, like having the strength and the passion and the patience to persevere through all the problems, because there are going to be a lot of them, mostly at the beginning and then eventually. But yeah, great.
Definitely. And Andrea?
I would say be open to the others, listen what they're saying, or be good listener, and also work on your empathy.
Thank you very much. One takeaway from me is to cultivate the natural curiosity. You were all mentioning no matter what question I asked, and I think that was wonderful. Girls, thanks a lot for joining me. I'm definitely seeing you for drinks and discussing Shonda Rhimes and Bridgerton or whatever there is out there. But thanks a lot for joining me. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So the next one, we will have startups presented by Barbora. Bara, you are on mute. Every call should have
Thanks a lot. That sometimes happen. So I would like to thank you all for all the great information in this discussion. And now it's time for us to have a pitch night. And I want to welcome 3 awesome and brave ladies, 3 founders of super amazing projects, and they will be performing tonight. All of them have 3 minutes for the presentation, and after that, I would like to ask all our panelists if they will give them feedback on their work. So our first, I would like to give the word to Michaela Fiasová, who is the founder of Mirageset.
Hi there. So my name is Michaela, and I'm the co-founder of a startup called Mirageset. So work from home is here with us to stay. Mirageset helps you to change the boring desert of lookalike webinars, video calls, and Zoom meetings into an engaging presentation, basically from anywhere. So how does it work? I will share my screen and show you so that you can see. So basically everything that you need is just a green screen, any type of a camera, and our app. Then you can create a presentation as simply as in your normal Keynote app. So you don't need any streaming or video editing skills. Our pre-made 3D studio templates, automatic camera moves, and animations assure that your experience is simple and seamless, so that anyone in your team can use it. Mirage's aim is to help you level up your meetings and gain confidence during your town halls or training videos, marketing videos, sales presentations, or virtual events from your own home or your office. Right now, we focus primarily on businesses, creators, and corporate clients, but our aim is to democratize virtual production for everyone. We offer Mirageset as a subscription service for businesses and creators. For a small monthly payment, the user has access to his own branded 3D studio with all of those animations, motions, lights, etc. But he can also access a full range of other virtual studio templates at our marketplace. So our team's background and expertise lies in the production of live events, streaming and video communication for companies like Microsoft or PwC. We first developed this solution as a simple demo system during the first months of the pandemic to present our capabilities and sell more events and sell virtual events. But realizing its potential, we turned the demo system into the product that you now see, and it's called Mirageset. We are rolling out our first beta to the users by the end of the next month.
So thanks a lot for your presentation, and I would love to ask our panelists if they give us some questions and feedback. Pajo, can I start with you?
Definitely, Michaela. I hope the next Startup Disrupt will be done through Mirage. I will be definitely asking Patrick to do it. But I would like to know what are your international plans, or are you staying in the Czech Republic?
Actually, we plan to roll out this in the US because we see there much bigger potential in terms of the size of the market. So we would like to scale up there, but we are rolling out in Czech Republic because here we have our beta testers. So that's the scaling piece.
Thank you, and keep up the work. It's really great.
Thank you.
Susanna? Hey, Andreo. Sorry.
No worries.
Sorry. No, I just want to say that it's really nice that you see that you focus on current challenges. I'm just maybe curious how difficult, like technically, how difficult it is. You know, if it's user friendly and you can just download the system to each computer or laptop.
Mm-hmm. So at the moment, since this is a 3D environment that we are working in, so that it's more immersive and more engaging for the people, you will need a little bit better computer than your normal laptop that that you have. But in terms of like the user experience, the whole experience is very seamless because we created it so it works as a keynote. So each slide or like each, for example, a presentation, a video, a detail for it on a speaker, all of those parts of your event or presentations are divided into slides. You just fill them, you just create a simple presentation consisting of those slides, and then you can play it and just and while you're in that more interesting environment.
Cool.
So
thank you very much. Yeah, I like it.
I would just advise you to use your software while presenting. So next time, just put us in this immersive experience. It will be, I think, much easier for you as well to describe it. So good luck with the demo, and I hope we're gonna see it next time in full bloom.
Yeah, it was my aim, to be honest, but right now we are on Windows. We are rolling in next month because of the demo that we are developing for Mac system as well. So that's why I'm kind of.
Good luck with that.
Thank you.
Guys, do you have anything to add to the presentation?
Just a short question. So far, it's only it's not available for Mac iOS, right? But you are going to. It's just like Clubhouse, but vice versa, right?
Yes. Right now, it's like Clubhouse, so invite only and only on one platform. But we are making sure to cover all platforms. But if any one of you would like to see a live demo, we are more than happy to prepare that, anytime. So just feel free to reach out and we will share it to you so that, you can join our waitlist as well.
That was my last question. So if somebody was watching us, how could they join you? And last but not least, how could somebody help you? What's something you need? Because I think this is about female empowerment, and it's about kind of coming together to help each other. So is there anything else you need from everybody watching us or from us?
Mm-hmm. So we are definitely looking for beta testers. So if anyone is interested, please feel free to reach out to me directly, on my LinkedIn, or probably LinkedIn would be the best. You can just find me through my name. And my question would be for the panelists, if anyone would like to see it live or can imagine it, working in their company or for themselves, as I know that, all of you have probably, a lot of experiences with presenting it in front of people. Would love to include you in the first beta rollout. So again, feel free to reach out.
Thank you, all of you, for the great feedback to the presentation. Misha, can you please sign off and we can have another great leader, woman, founder. I want to welcome on here an awesome girl, woman, Anna Vesela, who is the co-founder of and CEO of a startup called Tangle. Annie, are you here? I can see you right now. She's not here now, so maybe we'll have to wait a minute. She's still not here, so I want to check. Okay, and our next picture isn't here yet, so we'll have to wait a minute. I want to, Annie Vesela is here. Hello, Anička. Welcome on here. I want you to pitch yourself and your project in 3 minutes. You have 3 minutes, and then we'll ask our panelists about the feedback. So you go. It's yours. We can hear you.
I'm sorry. Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's okay now. Go.
Let's start right now. So hello everyone, my name is Anna and I would like to introduce you to our project called Tangle. Imagine a gate in a public space that illuminates every time a person passes through it. If you want to create a similar installation using current systems, you have two options and neither is ideal. When you choose the first option, a laptop must be constantly connected to the installation, so it communicates with the light and translates the signals triggered by passing people. The second option is disconnecting the computer and loading the instructions straight into the light gateway, but the gateway will not flash as people are passing by. We have developed the Tangle ecosystem, thanks to which you can create an interactive installation even without the constant presence of PC or a laptop. For example, you can light up an office building and save a lot of money on infrastructure costs, or create interactive props that allow artists to improvise during their performance. We combine technology and creativity. We create a tool that shifts the possibilities of what can be created with life. Currently, our hardware is ready and we are working on the web app that empowers users with absolute freedom to create light shows for Tangle and then share them with the world. So this was all. Thanks for your attention.
Thanks a lot, Annie, for your presentation. And as previous, I want to give the words to our panelists and ask about the feedback. So what do you guys have? Pavlína, if I can start with you again.
Okay, I will go, and then Andrea, obviously. I was waiting for that. Anna, if you imagine the perfect world for you in a year, where do you want to go? Where do you want to be? In terms of your roadmap or your company, how it's set up?
Yeah, like as I said, right now we have completed the hardware part of our system. So I would like the software to be done, to be ready to share it with people so they can use it. Yeah, and also right now we have to customize the hardware a lot for our customers. So I would like the hardware to be easier so everyone can use it. So that's it.
Yeah.
Can I have your feedback?
Yes. Okay. So I had a question, but now I have an extra one. Okay. So my first, I'm a bit confused, I must say, because at some point during the flow you mentioned, like lighting up a building in this, and I understood like preserving energy and all of that, and then I understand that is something with lighting, installation, and creativity. But who is the customer? I'm wondering who is because you mentioned customers. Who is your ideal customer?
Yeah, I understand. Well, right now we are in the part that we are testing it. So we have many target groups, and we are just testing the best fit and who will pay the most of money for that. But I think that the biggest target group is performers and the culture, light designers and artists. So maybe that's why. And the example with the office building is that we have a different kind of data flow with our system. So that's why it saves the money on infrastructure costs. So that's why I mentioned.
Yeah, but now you confused me again, because first of all, you should have told me like artists are the reason we started this. But my actual question again is, when we're talking about the building, is it about the actual building, like the lighting that they have in their common spaces and outside and stuff like that? Or is it about projecting light onto a building to have all the, let's say, music versus light installations on the building, let's say, as they do on the Eiffel Tower? Because now that's why I'm confused right now, because I don't know what we mean by building.
Yeah, I understand. It can be both. It can be the wall on the house, or it can be the Eiffel Tower. Both is okay. Like it's
okay.
So I'm looking at, it's not your website, but there is an article about your project, and it says that it's focused on graphic designers. So it's just like for someone who, like for a graphic designer who can work with this program, or and also the artists who can express themselves.
Not the graphic designer, maybe the light designers. The people who create the show, for example, during the Signal Festival, maybe the people from Prague, they will know the Festival of Light. So the people who create the show with the light, yeah, not the graphic designers. I'm not sure if I answered your question.
Violeta will go first, and then Olga. I will start moderating those questions.
Okay, so first of all, Anna, thank you for walking us through your idea. I would like to offer 5 points to consider when developing a company, which you might find valuable. One is very important, is to think of the what challenge you are trying to solve by creating a company, because successful startups are solving real challenges. And sometimes when it's difficult to articulate the challenge, might be difficult also to generate, to grow a successful startup. Second of all, to make sure we have quality of the team. The third thing is technological readiness. Whenever we are building something, we need to make sure that we have this, let's say, red button, which is called technological readiness. Then it is about commercial assessment. So how big is the market, what competition, total addressable market, what it costs to gain competition, to gain customers. And the last point is related to roadmap, where you want to, to develop your company. So if you are looking at these 5 points, I think it's easy to structure your efforts to also to bring more competencies in your company.
Thanks a lot for your advices. I'll write it down and remember it.
And we have a few more seconds, so Olga wanted to add something.
Yes, I would like to thank Anna and say that never be afraid to show your hypothesis, even though you are not sure 100% about something. No one is, because world is changing so fast. But still, I suggest you to stick to some hypothesis regarding your market, regarding your customers, and regarding your target audiences, and also maybe a little bit naive, but still, when we are thinking about the dragon we would like to slay with the help of our service or product, this helps us in another way look at our business. What dragon are we slaving? And this gives us more ideas.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, so that was everything for Anna. And I thank you for your presentation, and I thank all of the panelists for their feedback. And now I would like to introduce and give the word to our last person to pitch, and that's Vanda Seidlova, who is the founder of Twigsee. So we will have to wait for her for a few seconds. I hope she will join us as soon as possible. And after her 3-minute long presentation, I will ask the panelists to give her some feedback, ask her some questions, and give her insights to her work. And she will join us in a few minutes, few seconds, I hope. And yeah, Vanda is almost here. I can see her in a backstage. Hi, Vanda.
Hello. Hi.
Thanks for joining us. If you could hear me, you have the 3 minutes, and you should have to pitch yourself and your project, and then I'll ask the panelists about some insights and questions. So let's go.
Brilliant.
It's yours.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me. Well, so my name is Vanda, and I'm founder of Twigsee, the online management platform for a kindergarten. I have a 5-year-old son, and probably most of you are parents, so you know the desperate situation when you get to your when you go to your kindergarten and ask your kid what did they do, and they say nothing or I don't know. But on the other side, on the school side, it doesn't get any better, because the schools, they are overwhelmed by paperwork. They have tons of sheets, unnecessary lengthy paperwork, and multiple agendas. On the market, if you wanted to be the digitalized preschool, you could, but you had to use many softwares together, and they weren't connected. They didn't see to each other the data. You had to do the double and triple work. So this is why we brought Twigsee, the only all-in-one platform that connects all 3 parts of the relationship. Basically, we build the ecosystem that connects parents, teachers, and kindergarten management. And in one single platform and one single app, we are bringing to all 3 of parts of the relationship exactly what they need. The parents, they have the daily information of what their kids are doing, and they can basically support them and achieve with them the better results. Teachers, they have everything what they need in one single app, and literally in the pocket, and all single information. and management of the preschools, they can actually focus on what is most important, growing up our kids and also growing their own institution. Because all of the other unnecessary stuff, we are literally doing them for them. Actually, we are right in the stage that we serve in the Czech and Slovak market. We have more than 150 preschools in the system, and thousands of parents and teachers are using us daily. We have more than 100,000 daily activities in the application. So parents are really using the system, but we don't definitely stop here. Our plan is a massive expansion because we believe that the system that we brought is usable everywhere worldwide. So this is what we work on right now. And this is what we want to improve the life on a daily basis for parents, for teachers, and for kindergarten management all around the globe. So we believe that it's nothing better than if you pick up your child in the kindergarten and you already know what they do, and you can ask them. And my son Philip, he is so much open right now, and he is talking with me about all this information and situation, and basically literally our relationship is now better. So this is Twigsee, this is us, and I will be very happy if anybody who has young kids will want to try this, because we hope that we can really make your everyday better.
Thank you. I will start by saying what I do with all of you, and that is to say something that Wanda didn't mention, but she was selected among top 20 innovators in the Czech Republic doing the job she's doing. So she's really awesome, and I'm angry that she omitted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wanda, really good job. First question before I leave it to the other panelists: has COVID affected you in any way? Because we are reading all about closed schools. So how do you manage?
Yeah. Of course, COVID affected everyone. The schools that are already using us, we can help them on daily basis, because through us they have the emergency communication. Every single parent has the in-app notification about every single thing what is happening in a school. So this is good. But on the other side, it's much more difficult to get to the meetings with new schools, because obviously most of them are closed or they're dealing with their own problems. So yes, it affected us, but we believe and we are trying to find the ways. And also we changed the modules and the system itself so that it really helps to deal with the daily situation for as many schools as possible. So yeah, we are adjusting the system and we are adjusting also the team. So yeah.
Andrea?
Okay. Although I don't have a kid, it seems like it was about time, like the ed tech and everything reached like the starting levels, let's say. So my question is, since following Pavlína's that, like already the schools that had the software were much more well prepared, let's say, for what happened with COVID and everything, what would it take for you to scale it globally? Where is the tipping point in order for you to go like from your region, like directly to every market, let's say?
Mm-hmm. We are restructuring the infrastructure, basically what is behind it, because we don't want to move data from one continent to another, for example. But the system itself, it's already ready. We were building it from the scratch that we want to think globally. So it's already in 7 languages. We have online onboarding system that enables any school worldwide to start with the application within 1 day. So we are ready for that already. So the only thing what we are arranging are a lot of stuff behind, so that we have for example, knowledge base and videos for people in a variety of languages and so on. And yes, we are adjusting the system in some of the markets that we choose to adjust to their legislation system, because it's 100% covered for Czech and Slovak legislation. But to other countries, we do not do exact exports to the, let's say, Ministry of Education standards. We do it as a general export, for example. So this is one of the things that we are now considering which markets we will focus on. But we are already ready. So we have the pilot clients worldwide in Mexico, Kenya, Singapore. So we are ready to offer the system worldwide.
Excellent. Nice. Good luck.
Thank you very much. We are on the start, but yeah.
You should show off more in your pitch, because you have so many markets that you're already testing your solution on, and it's just building your credibility. So just, Wanda, don't be so humble, please.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, practically we started as a single communication app. We were thinking about it that communication is most important. This is what I thought, what I believed as a parent. But since we started to connect first schools, we were trying to spend time with them literally at schools, so that we can see what they are actually dealing with on a daily basis. And we found out that communication is just literally the topper of the huge mountain, and they have so many stuff to deal with. So we were talking with them, what is the thing that can actually help you to save your time? And we saw the multiple times doing the same job over and over. And in the end, we decided, okay, legislation is something what we never wanted to do, or the era that we never wanted to enter, but then we decided to do it. And suddenly we see that literally it's more than 100 hours a month that we save to the staff, which is more than half of the one person payment. And it's quite a lot, and they can see it because they have everything in the system. And what we believe, we don't want to exchange robots or any kind of technology for people. We believe that teachers and managers of the schools, they are well educated people, that they need to spend the time with kids, not with papers. So the only thing what we want to do is the areas that papers are done, this is what we want to do, and let's free the hands for the experts to spend the time with our kids. Because the kids, how we develop them, the society will be in 20 years. And we believe that this is the most important thing that we can give to the market and we can give to the society.
I believe that, I promised the drinks with the girls, and we are starting an angel business investment network, and we are definitely investing with you, seeing like how we kind of lit up, and we are all excited about your product. So
thank you. Thank you.
You're definitely really great. Is there any question? Comment? Encouragement?
I think I have a final one. Like, what are you funding right now? Like, are you raising funds right now, or is it something that you already covered with?
We covered the angel round. I covered by myself because I trusted the project. So I popped the first couple of millions from my pocket, but because I wanted to do it. The pre-seed investment we have from Mr. Hlavenka, which is a co-founder of Kiwi.com. So he has well experience in a technological world. And yes, together, obviously, since we plan the expansion, so we will be looking for new resources. Also, money is not the main purpose what we are looking for, because I believe that I could go to, I don't know, bank probably and take the money. We believe that we want to have the partner, the relevant partner that believes in the idea that we want to bring and that want to support the idea, because we think that it's so much more important than just the money. But of course, money is also necessary. But we already have, as I said, paying clients. We have like more than 150 paying clients. So we are already on the traction that we are making money. But now, since we are speeding, so yeah, we are in the reds currently, but controlled threats, because we want to invest into expansion, and now we are testing the system, adjusting the system a little bit, and in Q3 we believe we can do much more massive expansion for, let's say, piloting, and next year when we test what markets are interesting and that are reacting well to our system, that we would like to go there. Yeah.
Nice.
I also planned the trip to Singapore for 3 months with cooperation with CzechInvest. I believe COVID situation is crazy everywhere, so it might not happen in the end, but it looks like I should go on May, which will be brilliant, because we want to show our system in Asia, in Africa, Eastern Africa, and Latin countries. As we say, we would like to bring it to the third world countries as well, because we believe that now almost everyone, but so many people have mobile phones, and we developed very nice mobile apps. Of course, we have the desktop version as well, but we have the mobile. We believe we can bring the communication, the system, and the technology also to the third world countries that maybe the huge corporations are not that much interested in that, hard daily job to show something there and to do the daily agendas there. But I am ready, and I'm happy to do it.
Bravo.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Wanda. And I want to thank all of you for your today's attendance. Thanks. This was really great, and it was really inspiring. And I want to thank a lot Pavlína for the moderation when we had some technical issues here. So that's all for today. Thanks a lot, Wanda. You are great, and I wish you well with your business. So here we are at the end of tonight's stream. I want to thank you all so much for taking the time to spend tonight with us with Startup Disrupt. Big thanks to Pavlína, as I said, Violeta, Andrea, Olga, Zuzana, Barbara, and another Andrea. Thank you so much for taking the time. Also, we would like to thank to all of our partners, Microsoft for Startups, FFK Legal, tyinternety, CzechInvest, and LXVI. We also thank all of you for watching today's stream and giving us your time. At the same time, I would like to invite you to all our upcoming event on Thursday. It's from Education Disrupt series. And you can already register on our site and get ready for the next upcoming event. So for the whole Disrupt family, I wish you a pleasant rest of the evening. Have a great day.